its way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week number 3 of Sunday Night Gaming. I'm your host, Gabe Walerysiak, and of course with me I got Jesse Waidler. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm ready for this game or
All
show,
right.
whatever it is.
This is a game show, apparently. So as you'll see in one of the segments. But so we're going to go ahead. So this is going to be a shorter episode than usual. We're going to try and make these segments more concise. With that being said, we're going to go straight into our first segment. And I just want to talk about the recent release of the Nintendo Switch OLED model. October 8th, that's when the system came out. I know an amazing game called Metroid Dread also came out that day. They were bundled together pretty much. But the Nintendo Switch OLED model came out. It has a 7-inch OLED screen as opposed to a standard 6.1-inch LCD screen on the standard Switch. It has a slightly longer battery life. It has a wide adjustable stand, so you can adjust the Switch OLED to be almost at any angle you want to when you're playing in tabletop mode. It has better audio speakers, and it has 64 gigabytes of internal memory as opposed to the 32 in the standard Switch. And it comes, the dock for the Switch OLED comes with a wired LAN port, allowing for potentially more stable connections when you're playing online. So Jesse, you own the Nintendo Switch Lite. I own the standard Nintendo Switch that came out way back in 2017. And this is the new Switch OLED that came out. Judging by based on those changes alone, there's really no other significant changes. Is this a worthy upgrade?
I think it depends on who you're asking. So when it comes to me, no, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to buy the new model. I like the Lite because of the portability. I don't need it to attach the TV or anything along those lines. I find the Lite better suited to handheld gaming than the traditional Switches or the OLED, okay? However, I think the OLED is got a niche market for those that want more storage space. And that LAN connection, I think, is really important for people who love to play online, like, Smash Bros. Players, right? You need a better connection for that. The one problem I have is that you upgrade a screen, right? You're upgrading the screen on it for a device that hooks up to your TV and sits on a dock anyways, and you're not going to see the screen. I think they could have gone a better way with it. I think they could have worked on maybe the processing power or something along those lines to augment the Switch rather than focus on the screen. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I definitely wish that instead of improving the screen quality, I wish they improved at least the resolution, as opposed they make the docked mode on a TV maybe like a 1440p screen. I know 4K is a bit stretching it, but at least raise the handheld Switch option to 1080p as opposed to 720. Even though this is an OLED Switch, it's still going to be running handheld at 720p. Now, I don't play handheld Switch very much at all, so I keep my Switch in the dock, and to me personally, as a regular Switch owner, I don't think this OLED model is worth it. But if you do not own a Switch at the moment, then I would feel like this is the model for you because it is only $50 more. You're getting twice as much internal memory. You're getting a much better portable option with, much more adjustable stands and better speakers when you're playing in more social environments. And if you do want to play in a docked mode, then yeah, that wired LAN port is going to be very helpful. And like I said, there's a slightly longer battery life, so that also goes to help with the Switch OLED. Is there really any other persons that this Switch OLED caters to? Like, I feel like there's a really weird market because it's slightly powerful than the standard Switch, and even that got like a slight battery boost revision midway through 2019, I want to say. So this feels like a very interesting upgrade to me. Now, feel free to disagree with me, but I feel like if I want to compare this to a generation, I'm going to compare this to like maybe the 3DS line, and this is like that 3DS XL as opposed to the standard 3DS, but not like the new 3DS yet, where that has like the all new processing power, like the more button controls, and just is able to play stronger games that can only be played on that console and not on the older ones.
So I had a 3DS and then I got the 3DS XL, right? And I have to say, I actually enjoyed the upgrade because there was no screen output. Okay, the 3DS XL was a handheld through and through, and so increasing that the size of it and the screen size just made it fit in my hands better and be more visually appealing, which
Oh yeah.
made that transition better. The Switch is going to sit in a dock. Now, if they did this for the Switch Lite, I
Hmm.
think they would have had more success. I think they just upgraded the wrong device in these ways. If they upgraded the Switch with more processing power and better resolution, and then upgraded the screen on the Switch Lite with a better speaker in the Switch Lite, which I think is the problem with the Switch Lite. The
Mm.
sound quality isn't so good. If you upgrade that way, I think you would have had a better market niche. But as it stands, I think it's going to be those with money, those that want the best, and those that are super competitive online. I think those are your target audiences now.
That is completely understandable. Yeah, and I tend to agree that as well. So the Switch OLED, yeah, it exists. That's pretty much our review on it. None of us have it because none of us need it. You know, we each have our own version of the Switch. Jesse, you play primarily handheld, and that's the way you like to play the Switch, and it seems to be working really well for you. I like the Switch in the docked mode because I am lazy and don't like to move around. So I'm going to keep the Switch there, and I don't need a wired LAN port because I don't really actually play online all that often. So the standard Twitch is fine for me. But like you said, for those that want to be more serious when it comes to online, for those that just need a Switch in general, for those that somehow need more storage and don't want to go out and get a micro SD card, sure, yeah, get a Switch, get a Switch OLED. And those that do enjoy both docked and handheld. That's the point of the Switch. You get to play in both ways. Don't talk to us playing one way exclusively or another way exclusively. The Switch you can play both ways. So if you do like that option too, maybe the Switch OLED is for you. So ultimately, I know this is a sad conclusion, but it's up to you guys to decide what works for you. And that's what we're going to go with. So that's going to be it for the first section. Just a very quick overview on the Switch OLED, just to see, what we thought of it. And next, I want to talk about another gaming company, very popular one, Sony Playstation. You may or may not have heard of them. There's just a small company here and there, but they are going to do what Nintendo did a few years ago, and they are making a huge, huge push to mobile gaming, not the Vita or the PSP, but iOS and Android, getting their major AAA IPs like Uncharted and God of War and other stuff like that onto iOS and Android platforms. So I'm just going to bring some exposition to you real quick before I get your opinion. They have hired Apple's former head of content for Apple Arcade. His name is Nicolas Sebastiani, and he's going to be working with Sony PlayStation to promote and get their games onto mobile. And let's just think about this through for a second. They're going to have games starting to release towards the end of the fiscal year in 2022, March 2022. Their first game will most likely be one called Wipeout Rush, because that's the only name we know so far. And let's have a slight comparison to Nintendo's former, or not former because they're doing it currently, Nintendo's mobile endeavor, see how they're doing. So Nintendo's 3 most popular mobile apps so far. Number 1 is Fire Emblem Heroes. It has made $163 million in the 2020 to 2021 fiscal year. Next is Mario Kart Tour. I play that game a lot. It's a pretty fun game. That game has made 93 million in that fiscal year as well. So not as much as Fire Emblem Heroes. Fire Emblem Heroes is very successful for Nintendo. And then third is Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. That made 78 million in that same time span. Here's the thing though. You think those are good numbers, right? But in comparison to those mobile games for Nintendo, the highest selling mobile game period at the moment is Honor of Kings, which is has the same developer as PUBG, Tencent. They earned $257.5 million in the month of March 2021 alone. So
Wow.
that is insane. That goes to show that the mobile gaming market is incredibly, high in terms of the audience and the amount of people willing to spend money. Looking at those numbers, how do you find how does PlayStation fit in there? The article said that, Honor of Kings has made, or Nintendo, Fire Emblem Heroes has made 36% less in that full year than Honor of Kings has made in that 1 month. So if Nintendo, an established console developer, put these games onto mobile and can't match, the best selling mobile games monthly earnings, How do you think PlayStation is going to do?
That's a tough question. I'll answer that in a couple ways here, okay? First, I just talked about how mobile the Switch is.
Hmm.
So for Nintendo to jump into the mobile market after just making the Switch such a versatile and mobile system, I think that they're not appealing. I haven't played a single mobile Nintendo game. Okay, I just
Hmm.
haven't. I have a Switch.
Right,
Why would I
right.
bother?
Mm,
Um, and so I think that's a leg up that Sony has right now because their mobile devices that they've had historically and currently just aren't good.
hmm.
They just haven't been able to recreate the handheld success that Nintendo has held since the original Game Boy brick. So they have that. People want to play PlayStation games mobile. Second, they're currently suffering from a, I guess, brand identity crisis. What do you know PlayStation 4 that Xbox isn't currently doing? There's not much. And then all of their original IPs that they really like, that really helps them sell like the first PlayStation. You have like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, um, Final Fantasy VII was a big driver, right? All of those are on every other system.
Hmm.
They're just everywhere. So that's not a big selling point either right now for them. And so being able to increase their brand signature on a mobile market, I think is good. And you talk about, oh well, Nintendo doesn't have a large lucrative niche. You got to think when you're putting in the cost into these games. Let's say it costs $50,000 to rent or not rent to produce a mobile game. Okay, that's way under probably. Let's just throw a number out there, $50,000, and you make, $170 million on it. The lucrative profit that you have is astounding, as compared to having to produce discs and distro them and all that other crap. So when you take that, no matter what other companies are doing, it's still a net gain for your company. It's still a positive for you to go ahead and just say, yeah, let's go ahead and drop these 5 IPs on there. Let's go ahead and just make some money and see how it goes. I think it's a win-win all the way around.
Mm. No, you definitely bring up some very good points. PlayStation might be in a better position to take advantage of the mobile market that iOS and Android have, laid out for everybody, as opposed to Nintendo, who's kind of juggling this whole portable handheld gaming market that they are pretty much dominating at this point, and then the whole separate entity of mobile gaming, which has pretty much taken a large chunk of those users already. But that's a pretty good, analysis. I do think PlayStation has a decent shot. Again, it's going to depend on what games they put on those mobile platforms and how they implement those games. We all know that, gotcha elements and just, gamble related, pay to win techniques in these mobile games are very, very popular because people like to, spend money to get, some of the highest rated cards or characters, or just like, dragons, monsters, whatever game we're talking about here, to level up their characters in their games to keep a step ahead. That's how a lot of these mobile games work. So it'll be interesting to see if PlayStation goes that route. I believe they probably will if they're going to take mobile gaming seriously. But at the same time, the fact that they hired Apple Arcade's head of content to, run the ship. Apple Arcade is a system or a subscription service that does none of that with their games. They're just, standard, fully fledged, enjoyable games that, once you pay the subscription service, you just enjoy the game. You don't have to pay a single cent to any of those games you play. So that's also an interesting thing to think about, whether or not PlayStation would just, have a one-time purchase with their games or not. So we'll see what that happens. That's going to be a March 2022 development. And that's going to do it for this segment. We're going to move on to, of course, one of the best times of the show. This is our weekly gaming spotlights and fails. Of course, Jesse and I name one game that we've played throughout our entire lives that we really enjoy, that we would recommend to all of you, and then another game that, has just not not been it. That's the fail. So we have two of them. I had Jesse start last week, so I will start this week with my spotlight and fails. For my spotlight, I am going to go with one of the few games that I've actually played on the PlayStation, and this is Journey from 2012. It's a very quick, a very a very quick, but it's a very slow pacing and enjoyable game. It's just, it's an open world, you know, almost monochrome type, colored game where you're almost like a gnome figure in a wide open desert, and you're just kind of exploring the area. There's no objective, there's no one there to tell you what to do. There's hardly any dialogue. It's an indie game pretty much. But the cool thing about it is that there are hundreds, if not thousands of other users that are going to be exploring this world at the same time as you. You won't run into them very often. If you're lucky, you'll get to encounter maybe like, two or three other players, that look the exact same as you and that are just traversing through this desert and this vast unknown world. And it's a very peaceful game. It's one that I was able to crank out just late at night. It was 11 o'clock when I started, and I finished at around 1:30 in the morning. And it's just one of those games where the music is very soothing, the sound effects is glorious, and the art design, it really complements just the peaceful nature of the game. I guess you're seeing a trend with the games that I'm choosing. I do like these peaceful, just fun, stress-free related games, but this one just kind of takes it to a whole nother level. It's almost like you're reading a book, but there's no words, and you're just kind of, experiencing this, so-called journey for yourself. And the cool thing about my experience is that I found someone, a partner that was experiencing the game with me, and he just happened to tag along with me, and we just went through the entire pretty much second half of the entire game together. We had no idea who we were. There were no name tags above our avatars. So we didn't know who we were, but like we just kind of established that connection, and we just followed each other through the entirety of the game. And I gotta tell you, man, those 2 hours are probably the best 2 hours you can ever experience. So if you have like PC or Steam or PS4, then, definitely worth the 15-20 bucks that Journey is.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. But can you do anything adverse to your fellow players, or do you just is there no interaction between you?
I, I'm not entirely sure. I think you can, there's some physical, moves you can do. I don't know if they affect your other characters online, the other avatars that are playing. Of course, you got to interact with all the, environment set pieces to, get through one area, or to, attack maybe some enemies that might be there. But I played it like a year and a half ago, so I can't remember if I don't think you can like attack your friends, but I do think there's like some sort of like moves that establish connection that you can at least set. So
All
it's
right,
it's
cool.
interesting. Yeah. But I'm gonna go to my fail. Very simple. I hate to, diss my man Mario like this, but he had a tennis game that came out on the Wii U called Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, and this was just the biggest waste of like 50 bucks I've ever spent in my entire life. I played the game for 6 hours when it came out just to unlock all the characters and get the achievements, and then that was it. There was literally nothing else to do. There's like a mega tennis mode, and then there's like a standard tennis mode, and like one mini game mode, which is just like a giant tennis ball mode. Um, and then there's online play, which no one's playing online in that game anymore. So once you just unlock the characters, there's like nothing to do. It's really really boring. It's really uninspired, and I don't know. I mean, I love Mario, so I had to buy the game and just see what it was about. But man, like just get any other tennis game, man. You want to really skip past this, and you will, since the Wii U's not really in production anymore, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, no one go near that game.
It's funny you say that because the Switch game, I bought the one for the Switch, the new tennis game that came out, and that game was also pretty
it's
awful.
it's not it, but it definitely through
It's an
that Wii
upgrade.
U one. Yeah, it's an
It's an
upgrade.
upgrade over the Wii U one, and that just goes to show you how bad that Wii U one was. If the current one I still consider not good, and
Mm.
there's such a large separation between them, and I have to agree with you there. That is a gaming fail.
Hmm. So what do you got, Jesse? I felt like I had a decent spotlight, and the fail was definitely a fail. So what do you got? I'm interested to hear your takes.
All right, so weekly spotlight. So I'm going to take you to a remake for a spotlight. Now, typically, I don't enjoy remakes, like Final Fantasy VII's remake. I did not enjoy that, and I don't enjoy what they're continually doing with it. But Resident Evil 2 PlayStation 1 was a spectacular game. I loved playing it. It scared me a lot as a kid trying to get through it. It was a very difficult game. I didn't think they could recapture that essence because I thought Resident Evil had lost the horror genre. Thought they were just an action game now. They remake Resident Evil 2 for the PS4. I don't know if it came out on other systems, but definitely on the PS4. And it is phenomenal. Dare I say, better than the original in the heyday of the original. Okay. The graphics are just absolutely amazing. I'm not typically one that's sold on graphics, but in a horror game, the graphics need to immerse you into the environment, and they surely do. They retooled a lot of the environments. They changed how you walk through the game. They focused more on being in the police station, and the odds are still stacked against you on like hard mode in that game, where you will die if you try to fight absolutely everything. And it is still a horror game. There are scary elements to that game, even as an adult, where I'm like, all right, I know there's going to be something that kills me in this hallway. The light's flickering. There's water dripping. I hear something down there. I don't want to go down there. I just don't. That's a great horror game. The game is amazing. If you have the opportunity to play it late at night, the lights out, do it, man. It's going to be challenging. Put it on hard mode. Give yourself all the challenges. They did a wonderful job with the game. 10 out of 10 on the remake. I have never seen a remake done as well as that one. That is my spotlight. So kudos to you, Capcom.
I've heard incredible things about Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I've heard a lot of my friends talk about how amazing that game is. So I can definitely understand the hype and just how much that game delivered in terms of, its brilliance and what, mastery that game was able to deliver, both in storytelling and graphics and just, sheer
atmosphere,
emotion.
Yeah.
The emotion that it evokes.
So
you got to fail, man. What's the fail? What's the fail of the week?
It's controversial.
Okay.
So this game,
hey, we have controversy in here.
This game is beloved by many. It really is. But I consider it a fail because it's a sequel. The original game was Final Fantasy Tactics for the PlayStation 1, considered by some to be the best Final Fantasy. Okay. The storyline is one of the deepest, darkest political twist type of storylines where you don't even know at the end of the game. I can't spoil it, even if it's over 2 decades old now. I still don't feel right to spoil it, but you don't even know where you stand at the end of the game, right? Just wonderfully done. The history is rich. There was blood, there was violence. It was an adult strategy RPG that just felt immersive, and it was really well done. And so everyone wanted a second one. The sales were pretty damn good on the first one. So we say, all right, Square, what are you gonna give us? And they say, we got an idea. We're gonna make Final Fantasy Tactics mobile. Let's release it on the Game Boy Advance. Let's call it Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. We're gonna base it in the same world of Ivalice. It's gonna be wonderful. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This sounds amazing. And then it let me down. So all those things that I liked about the first one, the political intrigue, the really complicated storyline, the blood, the violence, and all those things that really made it feel like a real war in a medieval setting, and the stakes were high. They took all that out. They added in more Moogles, which are fluffy little white balls with little red dots on their heads, or balls on their heads. They added Banga and all these other races to go along with fantasy elements. The story starts off with your children reading a story, and then you get sucked into this world, into the book, and then you're now living out this world. And not only that, they got rid of all the violence. They downgraded the graphics because it's now on a Game Boy Advance. The sound quality is awful. The political story is gone. They also decided, hey, well, you know what would be really cool about your strategy game? Let's incorporate soccer into it. And so they took yellow cards and red cards, and they made judges throughout the game that would appear in the maps, and they would limit you on your abilities to do certain styles of attacks or use items or whatever limitation they put on you. And if you broke the rule, you'd get a yellow card or a red card. If you got a red card, you got evicted, thrown in jail, and removed from the battle. It didn't need to happen. It was
strange.
Yeah, that's a really good word for it. And so when you take the pinnacle of a series and then you turn it into a children's soccer game that's mismatched with Final Fantasy, I just have to say it is a gaming fail. I know I'm going to get hate for that, but it was awful.
Yeah, understandable. I've yet to play the game myself, but after you explaining that, I think maybe I'll just stick to the first one if I ever get to one of those games. So thank you for contributing to the gaming fail of the week. And that's going to do it for that segment, guys. We are going to move on to our weekly game show section of the week. This is Guess That Nintendo Character number 2. So in case you don't remember the rules, I will try my best to explain. We each pick 4 characters, and we have to make a guess on what Nintendo characters, specifically Nintendo character, because both of us grew up on Nintendo, it's what we know the most, what Nintendo character we have chosen for the other person to guess. If you guess this character, like just out of the blue, no hints whatsoever, then you get 6 points. If not, then we reveal what year they originated from or they made their debut. That if you get it based on that alone, you get 5 points. Then the next hint is what type of character, hero or protagonist, villain, NPC. You get 4 points if you guess it based on that. Then it's a physical attribute. You can say whatever you want about the character as long as it's true. If you get it based on that, you get 3 points. Then their origin game series is the next hint. You get it based on that, that's 2 points. And then you get an anagram, which is just a word scramble of, the letters that spell the character's names. If you get it based on that, that is 1 point. And if you still somehow, like both of us last week during one of the turns, couldn't get it based on that, then you just get 0 points and you suck at this game, like we both do. But we're gonna play for a second week anyway to see how it goes.
Before we kick off, you gave me a task, right? I lost last week.
I did. We have established that there will be a punishment game for each of us to play every week, after to the loser who gets the least amount of points in this game. You don't ever have to complete the game or, get very far in the game. Just have to experience the game enough to get a good idea of what it's about. Jesse, somehow, I still don't know how, ended up losing by 1 point at the end of last week's game, and I told him to go play Ori in the Blind Forest. Now, Jesse, I don't know if you've gotten the chance to play it yet, but, during one of these segments, you can let us know how that game is.
Yeah, I bought, I have now 1 and 2, so I'm going to give it my earnest effort here, and I've got it preloaded, and it's just ready to go, so I'm holding up my end of the bargain. Next week I'll talk about it.
So we will look forward to that on either a gaming spotlight or fail, or during just a quick discussion before we get started on this game. We'll figure that out for you guys. But anyways, you started with I started with the guessing last week, so you're gonna guess first this week. Jesse, round 1, let's get it. Throw at me what you got. Nintendo character, and also the link to all the Nintendo characters list in the description.
Ooh, pressure's on. I feel like there should be gaming music coming through my headphones right now. You know what? I'm gonna say Captain Falcon.
That is not correct.
It should have been.
It should have been. You're right.
Change your answer.
So its debut year is 1986.
1986. Man, you got me on this one before. What was from 86 before? I'm gonna go with King Dedede.
That is incorrect. But the character is a villain.
Is a villain. I have a feeling like it's a Kirby game, man. I really do. I think it's Kirby. But I can't think of any other villains because it's not Meta Knight and it's not King Dedede. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Bowser Jr.
That is incorrect as well. This character has a very large eye. Let's say that.
Large eye.
As far as I know.
Is it Mother Brain?
It is. It's Mother Brain. You got 3 points.
All right. I'll take it.
Next one was gonna be Metroid, obviously. So there you go. 3 points for Jesse.
Nice. I like it. All right, man. All right. Connect with me. It's your chance.
I need to, let's see, character that he could have gone with. I am going to say, you pick Olimar.
I did not. No,
Okay.
It's not Olimar. I'm gonna win this week, man. I'm going deep.
Oh
right.
no.
All right. Year 2001.
No, 2001. Was it Roy from Fire Emblem?
It's not Roy. They are a protagonist.
Ooh, okay. Man, what are they? I feel like I guess like a Fire Emblem game that came out around the time, and Pikmin came out around that time too. Like, what else is there to guess from that time period? I'm going to go with is it Ike?
Nope, not Ike. Physical trait, they wear all red.
They wear all red. Where's red? It's not Ness, is it?
Growing. It's not Ness. Nope. Nope. All right. Game series Advance Wars.
Oh God, I don't know a single character from it. I can't name. See, I don't want to be that guy that looks at the list again like I did last week.
No, don't do it.
But I don't know any of the characters. I need the word scramble, man. I can't do it. I don't know a character from Advance Wars.
Here's your anagram. Dyna. That's Dyna. Dyna.
Is the character's name Andy?
It is Andy. Andy. You get a point, good sir. You get a point.
All right. Cool. 1 point. So 1 to 3. Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I'm hoping this one can set you back, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Take a wild guess.
This is always the hardest. The first one, because you always have all this hope.
Right.
First one, I am going to go with Falco.
Nope, not Falco.
Oh, okay. All right, what do you got?
Debut year is 2003.
2003. Sort of like GameCube era. Game Boy Advance era. I'm gonna go with Olimar.
Nope, not Olimar.
Okay.
This character is a sidekick.
Sidekick. Alf.
Nope.
No. Okay. That's a sidekick, right?
The character, I believe so. The character wears or has green hair.
Oh boy, I have no clue. 2003, green hair, sidekick. I know as soon as you say it, I'm gonna slap myself. It sounds like a Fire Emblem character. Is it one of the Dragoon sisters?
Not that I don't know if the Dragoon sisters have names, but not that I know of. But
Okay.
you were right in that it is from Fire Emblem. So you do got that. You do that guy.
Oh boy, this is not going to go my way. There's so many Fire Emblem characters, and I only know a few of those games.
Yeah, that list was very long.
I don't know. Lydia?
Nah, I don't think so. No, the characters. I mean, you'll get it from here. YLN.
Oh. It's Lynn.
Yeah.
Lynn.
It's Lynn.
Lynn.
All right, 1 point for you.
Oof. You know, as soon as I said Liddy, I was like, oh, it's Lynn.
That's funny.
All right, man. I think you're going to do good on this one. Okay.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Shoot.
It's Mario.
It's not Mario.
You figured just in case you threw one of those in there.
Okay, it's from 1984.
1984. What game came out in 84?
You know, the year you were born.
Yeah. It had to have been... I don't know. Because Luigi was 83. Then, like, Bowser and Peach and Toad were 85, so... I don't know what came out in 84. Is it... I'm just gonna go with Link. I know it's wrong, but 80 because he was out in 86. But I don't know what came out in 84.
Nope. It's an antagonist.
Antagonist. It's an antagonist.
Definitely wanted to punch this thing in the face.
Oh wait. No. No, that can't be right. It's not Mike Tyson, is it?
It's funny, but no. It's a dog.
It's a dog. Oh, it's just the dog from Duck Hunt? Duck Hunt dog?
It is. It is.
Oh, man.
3 points for you.
Okay, so now we're tied.
Tied. 4-4.
Okay, so I'm going on to my third. Take a shot.
Okay. Kirby.
Nope.
Okay.
Debut year, 1996.
96. Okay. That is... I'm pretty sure that's the year Ocarina of Time was released. And so I will say it is... Saria.
Nope.
Okay.
It's not. This character is an NPC.
Marin.
No, it's not Marin.
Okay.
This character wears a white lab coat. Or just a lab coat in general. Whichever you prefer. I believe it's white, based on the pictures, the renders.
Oh, Professor Oak.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 points.
I had to get myself off of
Zelda.
off of Zelda there. All right. We got a game.
Turn. Oh boy.
What do you got? What do you got?
We do have a game. You guessed, or you probably wrote down. Ganondorf.
No. But the year is 1993.
1993.
Yeah, I am 3 years old.
Did you pick King Dedede?
I did not pick DDD. It is an NPC.
NPC. NPC. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll have to pass on that.
Ooh. They're green.
They're green.
Yep, they're green.
They are green. could a they be?
They could mean either gender.
No, I know that. But I meant they as in like more than one.
Not always. Nowadays it can be singular.
No, I know, but
All
I
right.
just felt like the way you described it was.
All right. All right. All right.
I don't know. I don't want to block myself on that. But green was the hint, right? They're green.
Yep, they are green.
Characters. It's green. Green? What was green from 1993? That's a tough question. It was like Yoshi debuted in 1991. But I don't think it would be a Mario character. Green. Who else is green? I'm not. I don't know. Lucas? Does he wear green? I don't know.
No.
I couldn't think of anyone.
They are from Star Fox.
Oh, it's the Slippy Toad.
Yeah, that you got it, man. 2 points for you.
Okay. No, I'm down a point then. Okay, so what is it? 7-6? Right?
Yeah,
Or
7-6.
Okay.
Yep.
Either way, I'm down a point going into the last round. Jesse, take a wild shot. Last
So
round.
if I get it on this, I win.
Yeah, you auto win if you just get it here.
Could be anything. Could be anything. Knowing you, it's gonna be something off the wall.
Literally any character.
I'm gonna go with Game & Watch.
It is not Game & Watch. That would have been hype though.
It would have been
not for
hype.
me, but not for me. But debut year 1987.
87. Okay. Man, I don't know. Ice Climbers.
Nope. This
Okay.
character is an NPC.
NPC. 87. What games had NPCs back then? Toad.
Not Toad.
Okay.
This character wears a white sweat rag around his neck. May not be a sweat rag, but it's just a white rag in general, or towel around his neck. No, it's a very weak physical descriptor. Right?
I gotta guess. I wears a white rag around their neck. Is it Dig Dug?
It is not Big Doug, unfortunately. This character is from Punch Out.
Oh, okay. Doc? Is that his
Yeah.
name? Doc. Yeah.
Doc Lewis.
Doc Lewis.
All right,
All
2
right.
points.
2 points. Oof.
So I have to get at least 3
you have to get at least
to
3.
tie or win.
All right, man. The ball
Oh,
is
boy.
in your court. The ball is in your court.
Ball is in my court. Oh man, I feel like we might have gone like to the obscure depths of the
Okay.
Nintendo
Do
charts.
I want to win that bad?
Yeah, you do. I'm gonna say you went with. I think. Did you go with? Did you go with King K. Rool?
Dude. No, I'm just kidding. No.
That was close. You had me for a second. No.
1986.
86. Is it Samus?
It is not Samus. It is an antagonist.
Antagonist. Um, is it Ganon or Ganondorf?
It is not Ganon.
Oh man, I feel like I'm just switching between one of the two games.
Uh, Physical trait here. They're dinosaur-like.
Oh, so is it Ridley?
It is not Ridley. They are from Metroid.
Oh, I lost anyway, but I forgot the name. What's the name of those dinosaur type characters from Metroid? Shoot, I know they look like the thing.
They do look like the Thing.
Yeah.
Not like the Thing from the movie.
No,
but
not the Fantastic Four thing, but like the dinosaur thing that you said. I go to word scramble. I don't know, dude.
So the word scramble here is Drake. Draik.
Oh, Kraid.
It is Kraid.
Dang, dude.
Shut out there.
I figured.
All right, man. So what is that?
I lost. You had a 2-point victory.
9-7. 9-7.
Well,
all right.
Congrats, sir. Looks like
music. Yay. Final Fantasy fanfare.
It's a good game show music. Yeah, maybe. But yeah. All right. At some point you have to. I guess you have to give me a game to play within this week or next week, which
I already got one.
It.
I already got one for you.
Hopefully it's one that's like on the Switch and I can buy it. We'll see.
It's actually going to be a game that you can get on your phone.
Okay.
And I think you can actually get it on your Switch now as well. Ready?
All right.
Greatest RPG of all time. Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger.
Originally on the SNES. You can get it on a plethora of systems out there. That is the game you got to try. And I guarantee you, if you pick it up, you're not going to put it down until you beat it.
All right. So the OG Chrono Trigger. I got you. Okay. All right. I'll give it an honest shot. I can't promise I'll beat it, but I'll give it an honest shot.
Cool. Well, hey, man, thanks for letting me win this week.
yeah, I don't know about that, but all right, looks like we both may have some games to report on next week. But Jesse, before we go, we got one very quick segment because we are over time. We're gonna do our upcoming showcase, so we each have one game that we're anticipating for at the end of this year or the upcoming year, whenever it comes out. It doesn't matter at this point. And there's a lot of games, but there's also not many games at the same time. So it made it hard this week for us because we picked our top priorities last week. But I'll go first. I am very much looking forward to Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. That's going to be a fun one. I played those games very much as a child, and those just bring me so much nostalgia. And I'm also a big fan of the Star Wars franchise. So when I saw that way back in E3 2019 I was like, yo, this game's going to be sick. It's going to have the content from all 9 episodes. You get to play as over like 100 characters. Wow. And I think it's going to be even more massive because that was just from the first 6 episodes. Now it's going to include episodes 7, 8, and 9. I think this is going to be a massive game. Dozens of hours you'll get to pour into it, tons of collectibles, and just go through the Star Wars story in a comedic let-it-go fashion. So that comes out spring 2022. Looking very much forward to it. Jesse, what's your game of the week that you're looking forward to?
I gotta say, that does sound like a pretty interesting game. I know the Lego Harry Potter ones, while I'm not a Harry Potter fan, they were entertaining games. They were fun to just mess around with. So I feel you on that. Yeah. So my game, it's coming out on the Switch in 2022. I don't know when in 22, but during that year. It's called Triangle Strategy.
That's right.
So Triangle Strategy is a Square game that's Final Fantasy Tactics like, that I'm hoping brings the grit and the storyline, the complexity back into a tactical RPG that Final Fantasy desperately needs, and away from the fantastical goofiness of the soccer game that was Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. I had to draw a parallel here. So that's my parallel. I'm hoping that this is the game that restores the glory to, it's not a Final Fantasy game, but at least in spirit, to Final Fantasy Tactics. We'll call it Final Fantasy Triangle strategy. I'm looking
got
forward
you.
to it.
Yeah. So, guys, those are 2 games coming out in 2022 that we are looking forward to. To let you guys, let you guys go, because very fun episode. We had a good game show, and we had some good discussion on both Nintendo and PlayStation. The Switch OLED did come out a few days ago, so that's up to you to think about that. And also, what came out that day, October 8th, was Metroid Dread. So maybe in either next week or in a few weeks, maybe you'll see Metroid Dread on a gaming spotlight for Jesse, or it could even be on a gaming fail. We'll see whenever he gets to play Metroid Dread. We'll see his opinions on the game. But because I'm sure he's definitely going to get it and play it at some point. Am I not wrong on that?
You are 100% correct. I am going to get that game.
All right. So, ladies and gents, thank you for listening to episode 3 of Sunday Night Gaming. Go and check out Jesse's show, also on WWG's YouTube channel, Wednesday Night Football, where we talk all things football. That's been up for a few days as well, so look forward to that as well. And that's going to do it. Thank you guys for listening. And I'm Gabe Walerysiak. He's Jesse Waidler. We'll see you next week.